Hi guys, welcome back to Melanie Smith Stamps. My name is Melanie, and if you are visiting for the first time, welcome to my channel. I am doing a little different type of video today. I'm calling this a show and share. I am actually, when you're watching this, on my way to Tuscaloosa, Alabama to meet a friend of mine for a week-long slumber party. We are going to craft our hearts out and just have girl time and just spend our time together all week long. And that being said, to prepare for that, I had to do a little adjusting to my video schedule. So that's how I came up with this idea for this video. And then I thought to myself, well, I want to show a lot with this collection though, because this collection, this Mirrored Arch collection is gorgeous. And I'm like, if I have to prepare tutorials for all of this, I'm like, I'm not going to do you guys justice. So what I decided to do is make cards. I played and I just spent a whole night and into the next day, and I played and played and played, and I thought, okay, I'm going to use these in as many ways as possible and show what they can do in my eyes, and then I'm going to share all the ideas I come up with. And that's where show and share came about. Now you'll have to let me know if this is something you're interested in, and if so, I may do it occasionally in the future, especially when I'm crammed for time, which happens every now and again. That being said, let's talk about this collection real quick, because I don't want this to be a long and drawn out video. I want you guys to just get tons of ideas. The whole idea is that I show finished cards in as many ways of using these products as I can. I want to give you a walkthrough of how I did it, what I did. That way you have as many, I want your juices flowing. I want you to have ideas, technique thoughts, and just different things in your vault of thoughts. So if you have similar products to these, you may not have this, but you may have a frame similar to this that you can put these ideas to use. You may not have a cover plate like this, or you may end up buying this. I'm going to show you 3 ways to use this today. This BetterPress plate. Spellbinders already has similar ones to this. You may already have that older one. You can do the same 3 things with that one. So if you have it and you don't plan on getting this one, use that one in the same ways that I'm going to show you how to use this one. It doesn't mean you have to go run out and buy the products, but I'm going to show you 3 ways to do it. And then you can run with it. That's my idea with these, is instead of us doing 1 card and 1 technique, and me maybe showing you a couple extra cards, this video has 6 cards in it that I'm going to walk you through. So, okay, this Mirrored Arch collection has these, which of course are gorgeous. This is the Mirrored Arch labels. There are 16 dies here. So think sentiments and layering. So here is the Mirrored Arch blooms. And like I said, we're going to use this 3 times. It has a beautiful sentiment also, which sometimes I use, sometimes I don't. Sending birthday wishes to my most amazing friend. I should give Sue that, huh? That's one of who I'm going to visit. This one here has lots of different plates, layering, and I'll show you here in a second. Mirrored Arch nested sprigs. You have all these different layers, and as you can tell by my plates, you can tell what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to change the colors. So I'll walk you through and tell you how I did that, because there's no registration on this one, but we're going to change the colors anyways. Mother's and Father's Day sentiments. And this is great. It's Mother's Day, Father's Day, but then Mom, thanks for everything, and Dad, you are the best. That's on my first card. And then this is a luxe backdrop and border. I'm using this one in my sample. I thought this looked very masculine It could go either way, but this was very masculine, so my Father's Day card is featuring this one. But this has a lot of options because it has this cut piece here that you can make a border here, or you can use this 6x6 up here and use it as a full background. In my cards today, I'm using Paper Rose's Rainbow Twirl paper. You'll see that throughout. So let's move this aside and get into the good stuff. Okay, first card. This is my Father's Day card. Like I said, I use the embossing folder here. Love, love. See, I liked that, and I thought it was more of a geometric like, so it would go for Father's Day. Now here, I went ahead and did the BetterPress in kind of an ombre blue, light to dark. Then I also ombre'd this one layer, and that's from, let me just bring these down here because I don't know them by name. So let me just bring them down here. I just took one of these, the size I wanted, and I ombre'd it up as well. And then I used the coordinating dies because these coordinate the mirrored arches. I found the correct size and I went ahead and die cut that out. And then die cut a border. And then easy peasy, I found a piece of paper that was masculine because it's wood plank boards and it kind of has these same colors. I kind of fussy cut it out so that it would have the blues in it. And the greens were fine too, so I thought that would go well. And then I just layered it all up, popping this one up here on foam board. So that's a good way to use a little bit here, you know, using this to utilize in here. And you see this also coordinates with this one here. So they all kind of work in unison, these three. So that's how I did my Father's Day card. The thank you card I did here. This is using this background. I did not use any of the inside on this one. I left it out and I foiled the background here. And I decided not to go green, which I did on another sample. So this I used purple foil. And this plate here, I did this so that I could show you that the copper plate sentiments that also were released today, most of them will fit this actual die from this set. So it will fit on your A2 just like this. This one will, this one will. If you rotate this horizontally, horizontally, gotta think for a second. The hello will fit, the happy birthday will fit, and the thinking of you will fit this way. So that's all on an A2 inside this frame. And you could do it here too, but you're going to cover some of your flowers. So I just wanted to let you know, it does not fit inside the scallops here because see, the scallops are smaller, the little layers here. So you have to go with these to get the copper plates to fit. But I just wanted to show you which ones you could get away with pulling in these and using these with this collection. So I thought it really helped kind of, you know, use a large sentiment as a focal by bringing this in and foiling it on there. So then I took 2 inks and I coordinated the inking of this to match this pattern paper in the background. Now this pattern paper is kind of a watercolor paper look. So it was like one color, kind of hot pinks in the background, and then it turned to a purplish blue down here. So that's what I went with my inking, is I inked accordingly so it would match the cardstock. So I really like the way that one turned out, and I actually foiled the sentiment in pink. So we got the pink and the purple foil going there. So I really enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun to create. It was just kind of outside the box, and I was challenging myself to see how can we use these with this collection, because these are so striking. They're just gorgeous. But just realize that congratulations one, this one does not work. This one is huge. It is really big. Let me give you a measurement on that. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 inches long from here to here. So realize that when you're shopping, you might want to skip this one because that is big. 5 by 7 horizontally. I don't know about that one. So just wanted to point that out because that might shock you. So I did make one 5 by 7. This one I used this as intended, but I changed up the colors. So like I said, I did not use a registration because there wasn't one with this set. I'm kind of surprised they didn't use a registration now that that's the new thing with BetterPress. But what I did here is I started from the center. This is the best way I figured out how to do this, where it would evenly line up as you pressed. I started with this one in the center and I stamped it. Stamped meaning running through the BetterPress. So I did that one. Then I didn't move the plate. I kept this plate in there. Then I lined up this one over that inky plate that was left. And then I held this down and I removed this one. Then I inked this up carefully and I ran it through again. Then the same thing. I left this one. Then I laid this down. And then once I got it exactly right, looking kind of like at these corners, once I got it exactly right, then I held that one down and I pulled this one up and then I inked and I ran that one through. Then lastly, I did the same thing with this. I lined this up looking at these corners pretty much. And I looked here too to make sure it was center, but and then ran it through. So same thing. I had a little bit that didn't ink right here very well, but I was happy with it considering it was my first try. So, and then I did a little bit of ombre right here and I used one of these centers again and popped it up there in the center. I also popped this layer up, and this was actually my focal paper for the whole set of cards. This was my favorite rainbowy paper. And so that was my first card actually that I made. So every other card that we have here kind of coordinates to this one. And that's my only 5 by 7 also. So then this one is my first one using this floral plate, which is my favorite out of the bunch. This floral plate is stamped in, I think it's marine. Let me see. Hold on. It is coastal. And then this one here is stamped in Cosmic Sky. You can't really tell though. This wasn't as dark as I thought it would be. But I learned something with this because this is a watercolor background. I didn't use watercolor paper though, and I should have, because this is BetterPress paper. I should have used, that was the first thing I learned. There's two things I learned. The first thing was I should have used I should have used watercolor paper. The second thing I learned is with BetterPress paper, you should watercolor first, stamp second. The first one I did, I messed it up. And I watercolored after stamping, and it really just looked awful. So that one got tossed. That was user error. This second one, I really loved what I got. But to get this look, I had to work at the speed of light. I mean, seriously. Because the BetterPress paper soaks up the water so darn quick. Water does not stand on BetterPress paper. There's no way to blend on BetterPress paper. So I should have used the watercolor paper. So learn from my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do. That's the reason I do this, right? To save you guys time. And watercolor first, and then let it dry completely, and then go in BetterPress. but use your watercolor paper. I keep forgetting, and I fight with my paper when I want to watercolor. So I love the way the ombre turned out though, but I did have to really work for it and work fast. So this is a shaped card, and I did it a little differently this time. I didn't make the hinge. I went ahead and just put the die, old school, put the die over the top of the fold, and then just put this color, the blue, over it, if that makes sense. And I also cut here so that it will stand for the person receiving it. So now, since it's rounded, it'll still stand. So that is my shaped card in watercolor. Now, this, I love these last two cards. I do. I'm just being honest. I really do. Got to have a true rainbow look. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. This is, of course, rainbow foil. It makes me happy. I used the BetterPress plate in the foil machine, did the sentiment with it that comes with it, then cut it out with the mirror arch dies, just like that. But then, instead of making a shape card, I put it on the fun rainbow stripe paper in that paper pad. Is that not perfect with the rainbow foil? Love it. So you can BetterPress it just on some watercolor background. You can foil it. Then this is my surprise for you guys. Okay, you ready for this? How about Copic coloring? Now, this is the first time I've done this. I have Copic colored on BetterPress paper, but this is not BetterPress paper. This is Copic Express It paper. I used VersaFine ink and stamped my image in the BetterPress with Copic Express It paper with VersaFine ink. Then I heat embossed with clear embossing powder. Then I colored with my Copic markers. I took my time and I did it some justice. So I am in love with the way this turned out. And of course, I matched my coordinating paper. See that? So if you want to use your Copics with your BetterPress, go for it. Go for it. The only thing is you're not going to have the indentation of the BetterPress, but you have the texture. See if you can see that. You have the texture of your embossing. See all that texture? So you're still going to have texture. See all that? You're still going to have your embossing texture because you have all of the black ink that has embossed with the clear embossing. And then, of course, I use some of that specialty paper from your Paper Insider Club that I like so much. Then I coordinated it with one of Yana's new sentiments, which is foiled. So, of course, it goes so well with that paper. And yeah, I love this. This is my favorite. So, which one is your favorite? And do you like seeing this many samples from me in a show and share? Do you like all the ideas? Like seeing this used 3 ways? This one used BetterPress and foil. Learning how to do this 3 ways. I mean, the different colors. You tell me, do you like this concept? 20 minutes, you got to see 6 cards and 6 ideas. So you let me know, and I'll do it occasionally if you like the idea. So I will let you go for now, and leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think and what's your favorite card. I will talk to you soon, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.